How you doing? Nice to meet you. Hey, how are you, sir? County Commissioner?
Administrator.
Oh, Minister.
Hi, Holly Mason.
Holly, nice to meet you. You're a commissioner.
Yes.
In the bench. Hi, Holly.
Hi, how are you doing?
Great. Michael J., how are you?
Hi, I'm just a citizen of Seneca County.
Hi, Ron. Nice to meet you.
Happy birthday, sir.
Oh, jeez, thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Okay, very nice.
Citizen here, Tom Bright.
Hey, Bradshaw, how are you? Good. Very good. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Brian, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good. Real good, thanks.
Hi, Charlie.
Oh, that's right. That was See you.
All right, well, first order of business, Mr. Reineke, is this. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear President Reineke. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Mr. Speaker, we'll go through a couple formalities, and the floor will be yours. Let's do roll call, please.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Here.
You got me all,
Is it making it too difficult for you?
no, you just got me all
Here.
mixed up.
Here.
Commissioner Thomas?
Here.
Commissioner Stacy?
Okay, I'll accept the motion to approve the audio digital audio recording of our last meeting, October 4th.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Hi.
Okay, that is approved. Mr. Speaker, the floor is yours, sir.
Well, I wasn't ready to address everybody, but it's great to be with you all, and, you have a great representative, in Bill. He has had me all over, his district, today, from Fostoria to Heidelberg to, here just now in Tiffin, and, we've been zipping around, even in what we were just in Caledonia too, right? Somewhere like that.
Through Masco?
Yeah, so we've been through all over the place, and, wanted to take the opportunity to stop here and, meet with you all and say hello.
Good, well, thank you.
And Amy said, be good to you.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
So, I just wanted to thank the speaker publicly for all of the help and assistance he's been able to provide for the district. There's a lot of things that we're reading here because there's some rough repairs that we were able to help with, so I wanted him to see that. But he's very good, he's very big historic impact on this information. So, but the idea of today to have him up here was just to see some of the things that we've been able to do in the district, and thank you for that, for helping us with that up here.
No, glad to do it. But I'd be remiss to say that all comes from Bill. Bill's your advocate, and he does a good job in representing your area. He's got a heck of a good business acumen to which it benefits us greatly when looking at the budget, and he's been an integral part of shaping our last two budgets under my speakership, so I couldn't be more thankful for his leadership and for his representation of your area. He's always down there fighting for issues to come back and bring home. Matter of fact, I was just joking with him because over at Tiffin, one of this big maritime issue they have coming, first came in, I said no to it, and he came back and he said, oh, no, we're not gonna have it, and explained it in more detail the big issues that it can bring to the area. So he understands the area very well, and we had a great conversation today about water quality and what's happening in Heidelberg and what you guys are doing here to reinvest and revitalize a lot of your buildings, but also what your businesses are doing in the whole area. It's pretty impressive, and it's a great community, and I always enjoy being up here in this area. So it's good to be with you all. I mean, who wouldn't want to come to the city named after our first governor? Might have been nicer if it was named after Baldwin, our first speaker, because the speaker what can you do? But no, sincerely, thanks for having us up here, and Bill's really working extremely hard for you guys, and I really appreciate you guys sending them to Columbus. I'm going to miss them next year when I have to leave, but I know the house will be in good hands with folks like Bill O'Brien. So, but I'm going to have to take any questions.
I'd like to bring up one real quick, because I see Mernshaw back there, who runs our mental health and drugs, and I know the budget, we put a lot of money into that, so I just wanted to acknowledge that because you were really strong on making sure we got it happen for each of the counties, for each of the districts.
Yeah, we put, so we were in a little bit of a tight budget this year, where our make sure we were, tightening the belt and doing things we needed necessary to make sure that the state continued to have no problems or no huge shortfalls in the future. So, with that being said, though, I'm really proud of the fact that we continue to invest in areas that I think are extremely important, as K through 12 education, higher education, but also most importantly in our drug program that we just kind of initiated. Part of our Buckeye Pathway plan that we have a long-term plan for our state, but it's called the HOPES Agenda, Heroin, Opioid Prevention, Education, and Safety. And basically, it's how do we continue to make sure we're paying attention to the area, heroin and opioid issues that are happening in our communities, but also pay more attention to allocating dollars for prevention and education and safety for communities. And part of that, we're putting a little dollars each for communities, for you all to have the ability to find programs that you could utilize that maybe will work for you, because every program, every county, every community is different in the way they need to face and combat the drug issue in every county that's happening. And another important one was, for example, we have a 1-800 number that people can call, but it wasn't 24/7. It ended at 5 p.m. Well, this problem doesn't end at 5 p.m. So we need to put some more dollars in that. And we're also looking to do more things like PSAs and others, anything we can do to continue to help. We've passed somewhere near 40 pieces of legislation from varying areas of the drug spectrum, to adding more drug courts, which are working in some communities, to adding on Vivitrol to the Medicaid rolls, you name it, to try to continue to help with this epidemic, and we'll continue to try to do what we need.
Well, speaking on a local basis, Merchu chairs the Opioid Task Force.
Yep.
We have judges involved, sheriff involved, law enforcement. So we do pay a great deal of attention to that. Merchu does a great job having that up. And we were just lucky enough to get some grant money. We are setting up a drug court as well. And Merchu's group is administering these funds.
I want to commend you on the way you run the House. You run it very efficiently. I had the opportunity to come down and advocate on behalf of WIN and observe, and you run a very efficient meeting, but with a light touch. And just to give everybody in this room an example, I witnessed a swearing in of a new member, and somebody's cell phone went off. And it was awkward.
Yeah, that was just recently.
It was very recently, and the speaker just gently said, "This is a great reminder." Very light touch, but the message was heard well. So we're very fortunate to have your leadership, and I really appreciate the efficiency that you run the meeting.
I appreciate that. Most controversial one was I cut a pastor off in a prayer after about 8 minutes. And looking down, and he still had 2 more pages to go. I just said, "Amen." We got to do some business. But you bring the wind issue up, and I get a wide variety of mixed emotions on the wind issue up here, especially in this area. And a lot of people are pretty upset with me about I blocked out some of the wind stuff in this last budget. And I'll tell you, the only reason we did is because of the process. There wasn't any issue. I don't have a personal issue against it, except for the fact that our end of the chamber had never heard anything on the issue. We hadn't had the opportunity to really vet it out. We're very open to continuing to have those conversations, but I also didn't want to quickly change setback rules that we just had the last Senate president change, even though I disagreed with it at that time, and then all of a sudden changed again in a whim in this last budget. So we didn't want to do that. The other issue, though, I will say is that, almost now, I think for 10 years, the Power Siting Board really hasn't moved forward with a lot of decisions in the realm of a lot of the wind, from the flicker issue. There's a lot of issues that come with it, and the only reason that I'm encouraging the Power Siting Board to do so, because what we want to do is make sure everybody, whether you're for it or against it, whether your property owner should make sure that they have some concern or some a bit of protected assurities that they're going to be fine if these facilities are within so many feet of the house. So I'm sure we're going to get to a compromise. We're working with the President and the Senate on it, and we'll get there. But that's the biggest issue that came up with that regard.
When will that bill come up, sir?
Well, you know what, I told the president, we will continue to have a conversation, we're ready to work with them whenever, so they initiated, this, and whenever they, have the ability, they wanna try to bring that back up, we're ready to sit down with them and do it. We have a bill that's actually passed by the House, that's sitting in their chamber now, and we said we'd be very amenable to them, amending a part of that into the bill if they want to have that conversation, so we'll see how it goes.
We'll try and stay with the efficiency theme. Yes, Brad.
Just one real quick thing, because we're gonna go down to the courthouse, but we have a really unique courthouse with the county and the city collaboration. House Bill 353 was, I dropped it, but it was, in favor of a new way to do things up here, because we have a joint county, city, spending the money for the drug court, and our Judge Shop and Judge Calvey and Judge Rapp all came down, and we went to the Supreme Court, and they outright the language, but it's not any new money, it's just specifically how we administer. But talking about efficiency, we're trying to do something here that's kind of unique in the state with this joint county, city.
You have a new courthouse, right?
Yes.
Right, yeah, I remember, because, I came in 2010, so I was in the legislature when a lot of that. I'm glad I'm not a speaker now. Yeah, no, that was, I can remember that very much so. Let's see, so that would have been, Dan Schroeder was representative then. Okay, yeah, that was, I remember. And I think, Aaron was still mayor. Yeah, he was still mayor.
Mark Steinmetz is going to, if it's okay, give you a little bit of a tour here.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, real quick, he asked a question earlier, and I don't know the answer.
Which one?
There's a statue on the front.
Wasn't it, was there a statue or something around Fort, that marked the Fort Ball?
There's the Indian Maiden.
Oh, that's it?
Yep.
Yeah.
She marked the site of the spring well that was in the center of the fort.
Very, I was telling Bill, very important area of water retention well.
Yes, it was.
The tree, Speaker, have you seen the tree? No, I haven't. What was Mark, you want to talk about?
Talk about what?
The tree?
Oh, the tree? There was a tree right near the, down a little bit away from the Indian Maiden, and it was a tree that grew up, it sprung up in the corner of the remains of the fort. As they were doing a anniversary of the War of 1812, about 20 years after the fort, the event happened, a young man who was there remembered a sprinkling coming up. It was still in the remains of what was left. And that tree is still there today. It's got a big fence around it. It's got a plaque on it. So it is the actual corner of where the fort was. And we know the fort extended, well, it's right up there. It extended over so many feet. It held 500 men. Never was used in battle. It was basically a supply fort for the other forts that were up the river.
I love this tree. My staff is.
They're all young.
They're young.
Brandon, I enjoy it. But yeah, you don't know the answer though.
That's why I
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, well, thank you.
One time I had a heart attack. I have this portrait of Washington in my office. This was a former staffer used to have it, and I said, now who is that guy? And he couldn't tell me who it was. I just about had a heart attack.
That's a former staffer?
Yeah. Where do you want it? Okay. Okay. Bill, you gonna get in here? Oh, yeah. One, two.
Put that in the bank.
There you go. Thank you. Yeah, glad to be here. Glad to be
Thank
here.
you, thank you.
Hi, how are you? Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Mark will point out to you the,
Yep.
drainage networks are real, draining thing you can't see underground, with the porch.
Oh.
Being able to refurbish those columns, and all the original walls, but they refurbish the columns on the side porch, and they'll point all that out.
Oh, and I did tell Bill, we do have a new, I just met with the governor, we will have another capital budget. So, it'll be smaller than even the last time, but we'll still have one, so work with Bill.
We'll be applying.
If Bill doesn't get you anything, you should be like that guy in that portrait right there.
Is that loosely hung or where you?
I was just in Slovenia. Yeah, it's not, I see So it's like two countries.
Yes.
Two countries to the east. Correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
what time?
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, Victoria.
If you're waiting at the Washington Street or Market Street, no wait.
Yeah.
10 minutes or 20 minutes. Okay. Yes.
Well, let's get our David's here.
I can meet you anytime.
I need to come in right now. I'm gonna run out.
We'll go from here to there. Charlene, you're on, Jen, sorry.
Whatever you want.
No, go ahead.
That's all right. So I need to update the
We're gonna
commissioners.
continue our meeting.
I need to update the commissioners on the active transportation plan grant that was applied for through the Ohio Department of Transportation. And Seneca County was one of 6 communities that was awarded the grant for planning. I can tell you 5 of those communities because 5 of us chose to go with ODOT's planning firm. The 6th one chose not to. We were told that if you choose to go with their consulting firm, probably gonna get a better deal. And to me, letting somebody else do it seems like the right thing. They're gonna know everything ODOT wants. So it was Seneca County, Village of Yellow Springs, Meigs County, the City of Athens, and Westwood Community. We are one of the 3 that are getting a large area active transportation plan. That means we're gonna be covering the whole county, and instituting a plan. We don't have one, we need to set up one. The plan will consist of base maps, demand maps, a network of 10 to 20 routes recommended as priorities. The plan will also have us, we have to hold multiple meetings. There will be a steering committee from the ad hoc active transportation planning committee. They will help us identify other funding sources, and they'll find out what the community wants and needs are. The overall goal and first and most important priority is to connect Seneca County to the North Coast Inland Trail, and then move that route south. So that's going to be definitely one of the most important things. And the most important thing with the active transportation plan is that it leads to more funding for our county. So I just want to give you an update on that. And things will be brewing in the next few weeks.
What's the dollar figure of the grant?
Estimated $17,663.60. That's based off of the dollar figure that the consulting firm is charging for all 3 of the large plans. So I divided that out by 3, but there is definitely more than that the state is putting into it.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other business? Board commissioners, say no. Motion adjourned.
We are adjourned.